caveman Cooper stole some eggs from dinosaurs and ruled the Ice Age. A lot of years passed, and in ancient Egypt, SLY Coopper was born. SLY Coopper I wrote the Thievius Raccoonus, and his son, SLY Coopper II, discovered and created the Cooper Vault so that every single member of the line could leave their fortune there. A few years passed, more Coopers appeared. Ryuichi Cooper, Sir Galef, Sally Malcooper, Tennessee Kid, Thievius Cooper, SLY Cooper, Harriet One Eye. A lot of Coopers appeared, but in the modern age, the best Cooper was Connor. Connor wasn't working alone though. Connor worked with the gang, that one being McSweeney and Dr. M. Things went down between the gang and then disbanded. After that, SLY was born, and then SLY grew and learned about his family ancestry. SLY Cooper was the main character and is the main character of this series. Now, when SLY was young, his parents were murdered by Clockwork and the Fiendish Five. Clockwork is this owl that always tails the Cooper gang. So after SLY's parents die, Clockwork didn't kill SLY because he wants to prove something. So SLY went to the orphanage and he met his lifetime friends Bentley and Murray. So when SLY is 18, SLY leaves the orphanage because there's no space for 18-year-olds. So SLY starts this awesome journey to retrieve all the pages of the Thievius Raccoonus. He trashes Sir Riley the Frog. He beats Mugshot the Bulldog. He kills Mrs. Ruby and sends her to jail. And last but not least, he defeats Panda King on his own game. Now, the last stage of the mission is beat Clockwork and retrieve all the pages of the book. Now, upon arriving, Clockwork is taking hostage of Carmelita Fox, this inspector that was always tailing SLY Cooper since the beginning of this journey throughout the Thieves. Now, Clockwork tells him that he didn't kill him because he wants to prove that the Coopers are nothing without this book. So SLY beats Clockwork with the help of Carmelita, and Carmelita gave him a 5-second head start. SLY kisses Carmelita, and then the gang sail away. Now 2 years pass. The Clockwork parts are in Cairo, in Egypt. So SLY and the gang are back here and trying to retrieve the parts. But they realize that the parts are missing, because a gang known as the Claw Gang already took the parts. Carmelita is in the mission and has a new partner, Constable Neela. So Carmelita thinks it was SLY Cooper, but SLY doesn't know anything about the gang, so Neela gives the tip it was the Claw Gang. So SLY heads to Paris to face off the first Claw Gang member, Dimitri, a lizard that owns a nightclub and sells illegal spices in the club. So during that mission, Neela, the constable, actually helps SLY, and Dimitri is busted. Next, after Paris, we move to India. So in India, we know Rajan, the creator of the illegal spice that Dimitri was selling. So Neela helps SLY getting the attention of Carmelita in the dance room so we could steal the Clockwork wings. Now, later on, Neela betrays the gang, and SLY and Murray, after beating Rajan, go to jail in Praga, where they're hostage of Contessa, the Interpol boss. So after that, Bentley is trying to save the gang, and meanwhile he discovers that Contessa is actually a secret member of the Claw Gang that is using the spices that Rajan makes to hypnotize people to get all of the hatred. So later on, Neela becomes the boss of Interpol, becomes this huge general, and goes all out against Contessa. So Contessa is busted and goes to jail. Neela is still with the charge, is still promoted. So Carmelita is forced to flee with us because Interpol is chasing her. So we go back in Praga and then we leave into Canada to the next member of the Claw Gang, Jean Bison, an old timer that got frozen in time and he went back. Now, Jean Bison is in Canada and is freezing snow, so Jean Bison's plan with the Claw Gang is shipping spices. He ships the spices with these trains that are run by the Clockwork parts. So the 2 lungs and the stomach, they are making these trains run 24/7. Now, Carmelita in this mission tries to kidnap Murray so she can use him to get back at Interpol, although that doesn't work. Neela appears and says something funny. You will not stop me, not even the Claw Gang, not even Interpol, not anyone. So by stating that, it means that Neela is probably not with the Interpol anymore. But after this mission, we are left in the last mission of Jean Bison, where we go out of Navna Bay and we see the lights. The northern lights are being screwed up by Jean Bison and his partner Arpeggio. So after a few more missions in Canada, We leave Canada, but John Bizot took all the Clockwork parts from a hideout, and now we are left in the last showdown. The last showdown of SLY 2 is in the sky versus Arpeggio. When we arrive at the Arpeggio's blink, we see that Arpeggio already rebuilt Clockwork and is working with Nila. Nila was his protege. Although after a plot discovery that Arpeggio wanted to use all the Clock Gang members to his own advantage, Nila betrays Arpeggio and becomes Clockla. So after a few more missions in the blimp, we manage to contact Carmelita, and we team up with Carmelita once again to beat Clockwork once and for all. After we beat Clockwork, everything looks peaceful, although there's a huge explosion and Bentley is left without his legs. Carmelita once again wants to arrest Cooper, so SLY gives himself in order to save his own friends. But SLY in the plane, after a few conversations, SLY leaves the plane and tricks Carmelita. Although a few years pass, SLY gets these messages from pigeons, and SLY goes to a highly secret prison where we see Mugshot, Miss Ruby, and Sir Riley the Frog, as well as other criminals. Now, in this place, he sees McSweeney. McSweeney was one of the original members of the Cooper gang. So McSweeney talks with SLY and gives him the information of the secret map that leads to the Cooper vault. Now, SLY teams up with Murray to try to get this map, although without Bentley, the team is not the same. So they go visit him in the hospital, and they try to convince him to went back to the team. Although when Bentley accepts, Murray decides to leave the team because he's feeling guilty and he doesn't have the same confidence he had before. So SLY and Bentley are left alone, and they want to get Murray back in order to get in the Cooper vault. So the first step in our journey is going to Italy, where we're going to face Don Octavio for Murray's signature in the gang. After that, Murray mentions his mentor Guru, and we go to Australia to get his signature. After that, Bentley needs more help with the RCs, so he contacts this expert online, Penelope. We go to Holland and we beat Black Baron, which is actually Penelope in disguise. After that, our next member in the team is a shocker, Panda King, our old nemesis that killed SLY's parents. So SLY bonds with Panda King by helping him save his own daughter by General Tsao, a ruthless mother. After this, we need one more member, that one being a diver, and Dimitri actually wanted a favor in Holland, so he's here to charge that favor. So Dimitri joins the gang because we helped him with his granddaddy's swimming pool thingy. I don't know, something. I don't know. We beat the pirate, and Bentley gains in confidence and becomes the boyfriend of Penelope. Now, the last showdown is in the Cooper Vault, Cane Island, the place where it all began with Tutankhamun II. Although we know that a mysterious guy named Dr. M, yes, the same Dr. M that worked with SLY's dad, is trying to break in the thing. Now SLY confronts Dr. M, and after discovering a bit of our ancestry and a bit of our past, we defeat Dr. M. SLY gets amnesia. Carmelita once again helps him, and SLY escapes with Carmelita, leaving the gang behind and Dr. M in ruins. Now, a lot of years pass. This was all for Sucker Punch. Now Sanzaru Games stepped in and decided to make Thieves in Time, because at the end of SLY 3, Bentley was making a time machine. Now Bentley realizes that something is going up in the Thievius Raccoonus and the pages are simply disappearing. Now Bentley contacts Murray, that is now a racer, and contacts SLY, that is faking amnesia to stay with Carmelita, although SLY is giving this inch and he wants to go back in action. So our first step is feudal Japan. Although SLY was being lying to Carmelita, Carmelita found the person that was behind it all and got sent back in time as well. So, our first step is feudal Japan, help Ryuichi Cooper defeat El Jefe, although the cane got stolen. Next step, Old West, help Tennessee Kid Cooper defeat Toothpick, save Carmelita, and the cane got stolen. Next, we got sent to the Ice Age, where we saved Caveman Cooper, the first ever Cooper, beat the Grizz, and team up with Carmelita, so she actually wants to help us. And we go now to medieval England, save Sir Galef, and discover that someone by the name of Black Knight, aka Penelope, yes, Penelope decided to betray her. I don't know what's up with the series and betrayals, but yeah, Penelope decided to betray Bentley because Bentley was too focused on friendship and didn't want to use his full potential to other things like weapons, money, whatever, I don't know. something in that manner. Bentley finally beats Penelope. After he was crying like a little baby, he finally grows up and decides to screw Penelope in the face. Now after this, we are left with one more mission. We go to Asian Arabia to save Salim Al-Cooper. Salim Al-Cooper on the 45th. Salim was this huge buff guy, full of confidence. But then he decided to retire, although he sees Miss Decibel, a huge, rich English elephant. So he tries to steal the stuff with his 3 left thieves, although plans go wrong and Salim goes to jail. Sly Cooper saves Salim, and that's all. We discovered that the main plot was Le Paradox. The Paradox was always this huge figure in the shadows, although when he finally arrived in the shadows it was like, meh, I don't know, something like that. But after that, we are finally done. We now return to Paris, and Paradox faked his own fortune and he faked his own name. So now he's this huge rich guy, this huge hotshot. And we discovered something of Paradox's past. He was actually a thief. Now it's the last showdown. Bentley reunites with all the Coopers we helped in the past, and now they're all here to help us. And they get their own cane back, so going back to their own time. Now it's the last showdown in the blimp thingy, where Paradox is facing Sly. Sly beats Paradox. Paradox asks for mercy before he falls to his own death. But then he tricks Sly, and he steals his parachute. He goes out, but then he lands in water and goes to jail. While Sly is left in ancient Egypt. And this was the entire story of the Sly Cooper series. Detailed and not shortened, but this was long as f***.